Hi, my name's Aaron from Missing Remote, and today I'm going to take a tour of the Fractal Designs Define Mini Micro-ATX chassis. So we're looking at the front of the chassis. You can see there's a brushed steel, a black brushed steel door. It's got a really nice polished look to it, very classy. I really like it. We open the door. It's got a magnetic closure on the door, so it really will stay shut, but yet it's easy to open. On the inside of the door here, I'll rotate this around so you can see it a little better. There's a bit of foam to protect sound, help to deaden the sound. We have two doors here that hide 120 millimeter intake fans. The chassis includes one fan, and there's also filters to protect the dirt from getting into the chassis. The filters come out by removing these 4 screws. Also, similar to these doors, we have a drive cover for the 5 1/4 inch bays. I've already assembled this chassis, so I have my optical drive here, and I already took it out, but they come out very easily. In here you'll also see there's a 3 1/2 inch to 5 1/4 inch drive bay converter, and once we pop open the chassis you'll see how that's held in. So on top of the chassis we have a power switch. It's a very nice feeling power switch. I really like it. You also have the blue LED for power. You have a USB 3 port and 2 USB 2s, your headphone and mic. You'll notice the top as well as the sides are composed of a what I believe is a powder coated black steel. We also have a 140 and 120 millimeter fan slot up here for an exhaust fan. And we'll just go ahead and take a look at the side. So you see here another slot for a 120, 140 millimeter fan to blow air onto your GPU. And on the back here, you can see sort of a standard layout for Micro-ATX chassis. You've got a couple of pass-through ports here for water cooling or some type of cabling. The bottom mounted power supply. There's even a nice slide-out filter. Might have to lift it up a little, make it easier. That slides out. And here, this is an extra expansion slot. And what that really is Fractal Designs also includes a fan controller that can be placed there. I chose not to install it for my installation because I was using the motherboard control and fan headers. And so let's pop off the sides here. I've already removed the 2 thumb screws. The sides are really solid. They also were kind enough to give us some sound deadening material inside and even over the fan. The top exhaust fan is also covered with the sound deadening material. Both panels have the material in them. Okay, so inside you can see there's 6 3 1/2 inch drive bays. The top cage has a couple thumb screws and pulls right out, which will allow you to have a really long graphics card installation. You have your sort of standard trays that pop out. They're metal, and they have sort of these silicone grommets to help reduce vibration from the hard drive. We have 120 millimeter intake fan slot down here, another exhaust fan, 120 millimeters, that's included up here that we saw earlier. You can see I have my NVIDIA GTX 560 Ti in my power supply. Now, I didn't have a modular power supply for this build, which makes the cable management a little bit more of a challenge. This is the Scythe Mugen 2 heatsink CPU cooler. Plenty of room, obviously, for that, and had no issues installing that. You can see here there are a number of ports, and they have a nice sort of a silicone grommet that hides the cables better and just makes for a really nice feel when you're feeding your cables through. In here you'll see there's thumb screws that attach the 5¼ inch bays. So that's how that 3½ inch to 5½ inch one is held in there. Let's take a look at the other side. And so, you know, I have that 750 watt power supply that's not modular, but yet I was able to take advantage of all the opportunities to tie down the cables, and I also fed a whole bunch of them underneath this last drive bay down here. So really that's all there is to it, I think. One thing that was a little bit odd, I put this in you know, before I mounted the motherboard, but the cutout is just ever so slightly. I think it would work, but it's right on the edge of being able to install this cooler with this particular board, at least. But I think it would work out. I can still see that I could probably get a screwdriver in there. But anyway, other than that, the chassis has a very solid and just classy overall look to it, and I've been very pleased with it. So hope you enjoyed this video walkthrough. Check out the full review on Missing Remote.